Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going deep into a book all about living longer and happier lives. It's called Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life.
It was written by Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles.
Now, have you ever, sat down and wondered what your purpose in life is?
It's something we all think about, that search for meaning.
Yeah. Well, this book, Ikigai, it kind of started on a, get this, rainy night in Tokyo.
The authors, Hector and Francesc, they found themselves caught in this downpour.
Oh, no.
And as they waited for the rain to stop, they just started talking about that universal human longing for meaning.
Makes sense. Rainy nights, they make you think. So this book, it's got some pretty interesting stuff in it. Have you heard of this Hara Hachibu?
Oh, the 80% secret. Yeah, it's a practice in Okinawa, an island in Japan where people live remarkably long lives.
It's basically eating until you're 80% full, right?
Exactly. It's about listening to your body, not stuffing yourself.
It seems like a pretty simple first step to a longer life.
It's all about mindfulness, really. Being present, aware of how much you're consuming.
And the book goes beyond just food. It talks about how, an active mind can help you have a younger body.
There's this neuroscientist, Shlomo Brzezinets, who suggests that shaking up your routine is like a workout for your brain.
If you always take the same route to work, try a different one.
Exactly. Challenge yourself. Learn new things. Keep those neural connections firing.
So basically, trying new things can actually help your brain stay young.
You got it. The book also dives into how our modern lifestyle, always being on, it triggers the same stress response as our ancestors facing a predator.
Whoa, hold on. Are you saying checking my email is like running from a tiger?
It's not that extreme, but the constant notifications, the news cycle, it can put us in a state of hyper alertness, like we're constantly on edge.
I could see that. Makes you wonder, how can we chill out in this crazy world?
That's where mindfulness comes in. The book explores things like meditation as a way to filter out all that noise.
So, less stress, more peace. I like it. In this deep dive, we're going to explore those mindfulness techniques, hear some of the fascinating stories from the book, and even get insights from people who've lived to be 100.
Absolutely.
But first things first, what exactly is Ikigai?
Yeah, it's not some mystical secret.
Is it hard to, grasp?
Not at all. Think of it as a sweet spot where four elements meet: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for.
So it's like finding that perfect overlap.
Exactly.
But what if you love something, but you're, terrible at it?
Well, there's this story in the book about an American diplomat. He had this prestigious career, but felt unfulfilled. Turns out his Ikigai was totally separate from his work.
Oh, wow. So it's not always about your job.
Right. It can be anything, and it can even change throughout your life.
So it's like this journey, not a destination.
You got it. And speaking of journeys, the book also explores this concept called flow.
Okay, flow, like going with the flow.
It's that feeling of being completely absorbed in something where time just disappears, like you're in the zone.
Oh, yeah. Like when I'm writing, I can completely lose track of time. That's flow, right?
Exactly. And when you find activities aligned with your Ikigai, you're more likely to experience flow.
Which makes you happier.
More fulfilled.
Mm.
Now, there's research by this guy, Owen Schaefer, that identified 7 conditions for flow. One is choosing tasks that challenge you but don't overwhelm you.
So Goldilocks and the 3 bears.
Yeah.
Not too hard, not too soft, but just right.
Perfect analogy. And you need to have a clear goal in mind, like a destination on a map.
So be intentional.
Yes. And avoid multitasking. There was this study where students who multitasked a lot had trouble focusing on a simple task. They used these red and blue arrows.
Oh, I think I read about that. Our brains just aren't wired to do a million things at once.
Right. The book suggests things like dedicated workspaces and grouping similar tasks together.
So setting ourselves up for success. This is all great, but let's switch gears a bit. The book talks about Okinawa, this place in Japan where tons of people live to be over 100.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
What's their secret?
Well, it's not just diet and exercise, although those are important. It's also their strong social connections. They have these groups called moai, which are like extended family.
So community is key.
It's huge. They support each other through thick and thin.
There's a story in the book about a birthday party in Okinawa.
Oh, for the 3 oldest residents, right?
Yeah, they were 89, 94, and 99, and they were just beaming. full of life.
It's inspiring, right? They have this concept called mabui, which is like a person's essence, their spirit. It's about leaving behind a legacy, being part of something bigger than yourself.
Okay, so it's not just about living a long life, it's about living a meaningful one.
Exactly. And the book uses architecture as a metaphor for different approaches to life.
Okay, how so?
Western architecture is all about permanence, like those big stone cathedrals, built to last forever.
And in Japan, they embrace change.
Yes, traditional Japanese structures are made of wood, often rebuilt. Like the Grand Shrine of Eyes, it's reconstructed every 20 years. They see life as a cycle of renewal.
While we're trying to hold on, like clinging to this idea of permanence.
It's a different mindset. And this ties into wabi-sabi, finding beauty in imperfection and impermanence.
So appreciating the cracks and the wrinkles, so to speak.
Exactly. Seeing the beauty in things as they are, in the natural flow of life.
This is giving me a lot to think about. We've talked about Ikigai, flow, the Okinawans, and their way of life.
And there's still so much more to explore.
So stay tuned, because in the next part of our deep dive, we'll be discussing resilience and anti-fragility. How to not just bounce back from challenges, but become stronger because of them.
It's going to be fascinating. Welcome back to our deep dive into Ikigai and longevity. We've been talking about finding your purpose, experiencing flow, and even got a glimpse of life in Okinawa.
Yeah, those centenarians, so inspiring.
Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about resilience and something called anti-fragility.
Okay, resilience. That sounds like something we could all use a little more of.
It's all about bouncing back from challenges. Think of it like a bamboo stalk.
Bamboo.
Yeah, it bends in the wind, but it doesn't break. Resilience is kind of like that, being able to adapt and recover.
So not avoiding tough times, but learning to deal with them.
Exactly. And the book highlights a couple of interesting approaches to building resilience: Buddhism and Stoicism.
Those seem like pretty different philosophies.
They are, but they both emphasize the importance of controlling negative emotions. Buddhism through things like mindfulness and meditation, and Stoicism through rational thought.
So it's not about pretending everything's okay when it's not. It's about not letting those negative feelings take over.
Exactly. Stoicism actually encourages something called negative visualization.
Wait, negative visualization, like intentionally thinking about bad things.
Yeah, it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but the idea is that by mentally preparing for setbacks, you take away their power to surprise you.
So it's like facing your fears in your head so they don't seem so scary in real life.
Right, it's like mental training for tough times. The Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality."
I can see how that could be helpful.
Oh,
But the book goes a step further, right? It talks about something called anti-fragility.
yeah. It's not just about bouncing back, it's about actually benefiting from challenges.
Okay, hold on. Benefit from challenges. How does that work?
It's about becoming stronger because of the tough stuff. The term was coined by Nassim Nicholas Taleb.
Okay, I'm still not quite getting it.
Think of the mythical Hydra.
The one with all the heads?
Yeah, every time you cut off one of its heads, two more grow back. So it actually becomes stronger from being attacked.
Whoa, that's pretty intense. But we're not, mythical creatures.
Huh.
How does this apply to our lives?
Well, the book outlines 3 practical steps. First, create redundancies.
Like backup plans.
More like having multiple income streams, a diverse network of friends, a variety of interests. So if one area of your life takes a hit, you have others to fall back on.
That makes sense. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Second, take calculated risks.
So not being reckless, but stepping outside your comfort zone.
Exactly. And third, eliminate things that make you fragile.
That sounds like a serious life detox.
It's about identifying things that drain your energy, undermine your well-being, or hold you back from your ikigai.
Like toxic relationships or bad habits.
Those are definitely good examples. It's about decluttering your life, making space for what truly matters.
So taking control, making choices that align with your values.
Exactly. This concept of anti-fragility is really empowering. It suggests that we have more influence over our responses to challenges than we might realize.
I like that. So how does all of this tie back into ikigai and longevity?
Having a strong sense of purpose, a reason to get up in the morning, is a powerful source of resilience.
So knowing your ikigai helps you deal with tough times because you have this driving force.
Right. When you know why you're here, you're more likely to push through setbacks. Remember the Okinawan centenarians? They often talk about their strong sense of purpose as a key to their long lives.
That's inspiring. But let's be honest, sometimes it's hard to stay positive, even when you know your ikigai.
Absolutely.
Good
The
book.
book emphasizes the importance of self-care, getting enough sleep, eating well, exercising.
The basics.
They're essential for building resilience. And don't forget about your mental well-being. Cultivating a positive mindset is crucial.
So looking for the good, even when things are tough.
Exactly. And remember the Okinawan concept of moai, those social support groups.
Yeah, they're like extended families.
It's a reminder that we don't have to go through tough times alone. Reaching out to loved ones or even seeking professional help can make a world of difference.
It's okay to ask for help.
Absolutely. We're not meant to do this alone.
We also talked about wabi-sabi before. Does that offer any insights into dealing with challenges?
Wabi-sabi encourages us to accept that life is imperfect and constantly changing. Finding peace in that reality, appreciating the beauty of impermanence.
So it's a different way of looking at things.
Right. Instead of striving for some unattainable ideal, Wabi-sabi says, embrace the imperfections. Find joy in the journey.
I like that. It's a good reminder that we don't have to be perfect to be happy.
Exactly. Accepting imperfection can be incredibly liberating.
This whole discussion about resilience, anti-fragility, and wabi-sabi has been really eye-opening. But what about the practical side of living a long and healthy life?
The book has a lot to say about that too. In the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore some specific tips and advice from the book, covering everything from diet to lifelong learning. You won't want to miss it.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We're wrapping up our exploration of ikigai and longevity.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It really has. We've talked about finding our ikigai, experiencing flow, building resilience, and even embracing imperfection through wabi-sabi. We even got to learn from those amazing centenarians in Okinawa.
And how they live such long and fulfilling lives.
So as we bring this deep dive to a close, what are the biggest takeaways? What should we remember as we try to live our own lives with more purpose and joy?
I think the most important thing is that Ikigai isn't a destination, it's a journey.
Okay. Yeah, it's not about finding this one perfect thing and then you're set for life, right?
Right. It's about constantly exploring, discovering what brings you joy and meaning, and letting that evolve as you do.
So always be open to new possibilities, new passions.
Exactly. And remember, Ikigai doesn't have to be something grand or extraordinary. It can be found in the simple things.
Like spending time with loved ones, enjoying a good meal, or even just taking a walk in nature.
Those everyday moments can be filled with Ikigai if you approach them with intention and awareness.
We also talked about the importance of resilience and anti-fragility, how to not just bounce back from challenges, but actually grow from them.
Those qualities are essential for navigating life's ups and downs.
And thankfully, they're not something you're either born with or not. You can actually build resilience and anti-fragility.
Right. Through practices like mindfulness, negative visualization, and building redundancies into your life, you can equip yourself to handle whatever comes your way.
And let's not forget the beautiful concept of wabi-sabi.
Ah, yes. Finding beauty in imperfection, accepting the ever-changing nature of life.
It's such a powerful shift in perspective. It allows you to appreciate the beauty of things just as they are, without needing them to be perfect.
It's about letting go of the need for control, embracing the present moment, and finding peace in the impermanence of life.
Before we go, I wanted to share a quote that really resonated with me. It's from Mitsuo Aida, a Japanese calligrapher and haiku poet.
Oh, I love his work.
He said, "Happiness is always determined by your heart.
That's so true. Happiness isn't about external circumstances, it's an inside job.
It's about the choices we make, the attitude we bring to life, and the way we choose to perceive the world around us."
So, as you continue on your own journey of Ikigai and longevity, remember to listen to your heart.
Embrace the present moment, even with all its imperfections.
And keep seeking out those things that bring you joy and give your life meaning.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Ikigai and longevity. We hope it's inspired you to live a longer, happier, and more fulfilling life.
Until next time, may you find your Ikigai and live it to the fullest.